Hey friends, Shayla here. So I am here to do my second quarter manga haul. It's another excessive one. I haven't counted the volumes. I will insert the number here because I don't feel like counting at the moment. But yes, it's another one that's going to be excessive. So let's just go ahead and dig right in. As with last time, I am going to start with the digital manga. I am also going to include graphic novels in this one because I haven't had graphic novels to haul before now, really. So they're just going to be included in this one because I figured you guys would be interested in them. So quickly, following up with digital purchases. I purchased an entire 10-volume series. This is Care First Love. I buddy read this with Bazaar over at Bazaar Individual this month. It is a really cute high school shoujo. It talks a lot about some amazing things for high schoolers to read, like about pressure to have sex in a relationship in high school and some things like that that I think were handled very, very well in this instance. So I strongly recommend picking up this series. Again, it's 10 volumes long and I really enjoyed it. Next we have volumes 2 through 8 of Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight. I have a physical copy of volume 1 on my shelf, but I wasn't sure how I was going to feel moving forward because the butt fetish was strong in the first volume of the guy, and so I opted to collect digitally, but I have really ended up enjoying it. I don't know if I'll continue to collect that one physically or not, or just keep it on my digital collect, because I am beginning to swiftly run out of room in this library of mine. So there's a good chance it'll be a digital collect always, but I am really enjoying it. Next, I did continue on in collecting Living Room Matsunaga-san. I've seen it also translated as Living with Matsunaga-san. I picked up volumes 4 and 5 of this one. That's all that's out currently, but that is not the end of the series. I'm definitely looking forward to volume 6. I continue to love this story. This next one is a spicy one. This is Love Massage Melting Beauty Treatment. This is a, it's got 4 volumes out right now. This is a digital first manga from Kodansha, and oh lordy, this is erotic massage. That's all I'm going to tell you. Go have fun. Next we have My Pink is Overflowing, which is about a girl with a fetish for guys in a white dress shirt, which was hilarious. Nosebleeds on her end included. I do have a manga first impressions of this one, so I will leave that linked if you want more details. I also picked up the first volume of Ran the Peerless Beauty. This is one that I really love and adore, actually. I'm definitely going to be picking up more of this one soon. And I just found this one so charming. It's about a shy girl that everybody puts on this, like, tier above the rest. And she finally connects with a classmate over flowers, and it's really sweet, really cute. I quite like it. Next, I have picked up and almost read, I'll probably read volume 10 later, the first 10 volumes of Red River. Now, this is a classic shoujo series put out by Viz Media that deals with a Japanese girl who's transported back in time to the days of Egypt and King Tut and the Hittite Empire. She's been transported back to the Hittite Empire by an evil queen who wants to use her blood as a sacrifice. And she ends up being saved by the prince of that land, and it's all sorts of amazing. So this is one definitely worth checking out. A lot of guys that I know really enjoy this particular series. So it's definitely got some war aspects to it, and it's really kind of gritty. So definitely give that one a check out. Hold on. Thanks, love. I had to recruit some technical assistance because my battery was going to run out, so I was trying to get it to plug in, but the cord didn't like me, and he's my hero. Anyways, that was the end of the digital manga portion. So I'm going to jump into the graphic novels because there aren't as many of them as there are mangas. So that's just how we're going to do this. And if you don't care to know what the graphic novels are, there's your timestamp. And now we're moving on. So the first graphic novel we're going to talk about is Scales and Scoundrels, Volume 1, Into the Dragon's Maw. I ended up picking this up to kind of test the graphic novel format on the recommendation from Natalie over at Pages and Panels. She'll be linked down below if you're interested in knowing more about her and her channel because she's amazing. Go follow her. But this was a really interesting fantasy graphic novel, and it deals with dragons and a big giant, like, video game style dungeon. It's a good time. I'm really looking forward to picking up volume 2 hopefully soon. Next we have the first 2 volumes of Fence. For whatever reason, mine has red writing and has a different picture than most people's volumes of Fence, but that's what my comic shop had. So anyways, Fence is about a all-boys high school and the fencing club. It's fantastic. I totally ship certain boys together, and I just love and adore all these boys, and I really am looking forward to continuing on. Volume 3 comes out in August or September. It's coming up soon. So most likely in the next quarter book haul, you'll see Fence Volume 3. Next we have Goldie Vance Volumes 1 and 2. This is a really fun episodic style mystery series where we follow Goldie, and this is the detective at her father's hotel and the crazy adventures she goes on solving these mysteries. It's really fun. It feels very like 50s, 60s, and it's just adorable. Definitely highly recommend. I've heard the 3rd volume is a lot of people's favorites, so I do plan on picking that up soon. Next we have Lumberjanes Volumes 1 and 2. I really enjoyed Volume 1. Didn't enjoy Volume 2 as much. These are about girls at a summer camp essentially, and there's a magical element to it. But I'm not sure I want to continue this one because there are others in the stack that I enjoyed more. So this one's on the back burner for me for now. I haven't given up on it completely because I have enjoyed it. I just did not enjoy Volume 2 as much as I enjoyed Volume 1. So I'm interested to see how I feel moving forward later, but for right now, this one's just going to be put to the side. Next up, we have one of the ones that I absolutely loved and adored, and that is The Backstagers Volumes 1 and 2. This is about another all-boys school where they work on the tech crew. It has all sorts of magical properties to it. It is really fun, really enjoyable. I laughed so hard with this series. It was so fun. The panels are so colorful and vibrant, and it's just fantastic. Definitely check out The Backstagers if you haven't. A lot of these, most of you have probably checked out, but anyways. I did get 2 things for free comic book day. So I got Animosity Tales, and this was really interesting about animals coming to sentience, and the betta fish is in love with his owner and calls her a princess. It's really weird and quirky, but I like it. So I think I'm going to track down more of this and read more because it was really a fun, trippy time. And then I got a chapter of Kino's Journey, and this one gets really weird and twisty, so I've heard I probably won't like the rest of the series, but I found the chapter that they gave me really interesting, so it may be one that I like check out from the library and try a full volume kind of a situation, if I can find a library that has it. But I think that's kind of what I'm thinking for now with this, but I don't think this is one I'm going to own anytime soon. Next up, we have Blackbird by Sam Humphries, Jen Bartel, Paul Reinwand, Triona Farrell, Jody Wynn, Dylan Todd, and Jim Gibbons. A giant, massive group of people, but this is a fantastical, witchy style story with amazing art, a lot of amazing representation throughout it as well. I don't want to tell you anything because I'm glad I went in blind, so definitely go pick this up. I picked this up on the recommendation of Jesse over at Bowties and Books. I love that I took their recommendation. It was a fantastic read. Strongly recommend. Also, if you have not checked out Jesse's channel, their channel will be linked down below as well. Next, we have Giant Days Volume 1, another one that I picked up on Natalie's recommendation. This is about college girls kind of figuring out life now that they're in college and not under their parents' thumbs, people running into ex-boyfriends, and all sorts of fun shenanigans along those lines. I thoroughly enjoyed this. We'll be picking up more soon. Next, we have Alex and Ada Volume 1. This is the whole discussions, if AIs became sentient, what would you do kind of a situation, and it's really, really interesting. I really liked this. I know it's only 3 volumes, so I do plan on picking up the other 2 soon, but yes, big fan of Alex and Ada. Next we have Isola Volume 1. This is one that I picked up on the recommendation of someone at my local Barnes & Noble, and this was a fantasy style story where we're dealing with a queen and a captain of the guard. The captain of the guard is on the run with the queen to protect her. It's really interesting, really intriguing. That's all I'm going to tell you. The art is stunning. Go read it. Were you talking to me?
No, it's just in my game. There suddenly appeared a pig with wings.
Oh, a pig with wings appeared in your game?
The Porcavian piglet. It
Okay. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Now we have Copperhead by Farber Goldlewski, Riley, and Motter. This is another one that I picked up on Jesse's recommendation. This is a sci-fi western, and it's about a single mother who becomes the sheriff of this rogue alien town out in the boonies, essentially, and it's about her protecting her family while protecting this town. It's interesting. I didn't love the art style as much as some of these other ones, so I may pick up more of this in future, but I'm not 100% sure, so I may just like see if I can check it out from the library or maybe collect it digitally instead. Again, something I'm considering, but I did enjoy it. I do recommend giving it a try. All right, so let's get into the physical manga now. It's a lot. It's a big pile. Again, like I said, I gave you the number earlier, and it's a lot. So we're just gonna chip away at this. It's a lot of series altogether, but the number of volumes is fairly massive, so I'm sorry in advance. But first up, I wanted to thank my friends over at Viz Media. They have been working with me through my Instagram account and have sent me 2 volumes of manga early to review for them. The first one being Snow White with the Red Hair. I absolutely loved and adored the anime for a super long time. I was so flattered when they reached out to me to do this, and it was just an amazing experience. And apparently they enjoyed it because recently they sent me the first volume, if I can show it the right way, of Daytime Shooting Star. This is by Mika Yamamori. This is a new shoujo title about a girl who moves to Tokyo with her uncle and the adventures that she goes on there. That's all I'm going to tell you for now. I do have a first impressions video coming soon. It will most likely go up on Tuesday, which is the release date for this particular title. Again, thank you again to my friends at Viz Media for sending me 2 of my most anticipated titles all year, and I'm definitely really blessed and excited to be working with them. All right, these are in no particular order. I'm just starting at the top of the stack and moving my way down. That's all we're gonna do. So first up, we've got volumes 2 and 3 of Delicious in Dungeon. These are fun. I didn't enjoy them as much as I enjoyed volume 1, so I don't think I'm gonna continue anymore. But this is kind of a twist on a foodie manga because they have to take the, like, demons essentially in the dungeon and make yummy food out of them to survive, and it's interesting, it's intriguing, but I don't love it enough to keep going, I think. Sorry if I'm a little higher. I got something to sit on because my butt kept going numb, so like you needed to know that, but here we are. Next up, we have the collector's edition of Cardcaptor Sakura. This is a beautiful, stunning thing. This is a OG magical girl manga. It comes with a little clo card. So there's one side, there's the other. I believe they're all the same. I'm not 100% sure, but I know Natalie over at Pages and Panels got the same one. So I think they're all the same, not 100% sure. But this is a lovely hardback, which you don't see too often in manga. And I absolutely loved my read of this. I did read it. I enjoyed it better on a second read. The first time I read Cardcaptor Sakura, I think I was looking for everything wrong with it. But when I went in and really looked at the art and just enjoyed the story for what it was, it ended up being a fantastic time for me. So I recommend giving it a try. And for all of you Clamp fans out there, these are stunning editions. Definitely check them out. Next up, I picked up the first 2 volumes of Sailor Moon in these lovely big oversized Eternal editions. So we have volume 1 here and volume 2. I am documenting my journey reading Sailor Moon, and I do have the next 3 of these on their way, but you guys will get more of my full thoughts as we go along. But needless to say, I hope you don't hate me. Next up, I continued collecting A Bride's Story. So we have volume 4, volume 5, volume 6, volume 7, volume 8, volume 9, and volume 10. I really love where this story is headed. I love that we're getting little glimpses of other parts of this world and time period through the adventurer's eyes, and it's so fantastic. I love it with my whole heart and soul. A Bride's Story is so underrated, friends. Definitely go check it out. Thank you again to Simply G, who got me to read this series because it is now officially one of my all-time favorites. Next up, we have another all-time favorite. Well, it's one of my all-time favorite mangakas, and that is Akiko Higashimura. This is Blank Canvas, my so-called artist's journey. This is essentially her autobiography. It's fantastic. Strongly recommend checking it out. I have a video where I talk more about this, so I will leave that linked for you. Next, I picked up the complete series of Angelic Layer in these Dark Horse omnibuses before they fully went out of print. So we have the first omnibus and the second omnibus. This is a series that I, again, buddy read with Bizarre Individual last month. It was a good, solid time. This is a battle shonen that's completely a tournament arc. It is a 5-volume tournament arc. It was fantastic. Clamp's art, as always, is stunning. You meet characters from Chobits in this one, I believe, because this predates Chobits. And yes, it's amazing. Go check it out. Next, we have Our Dreams at Dusk by Yuki Kamitani. And this is an LGBT manga written by a non-binary person. A non-binary mangaka. There are themes of suicide throughout this, so definitely beware. There's definitely trigger warnings of also racial slurs in regards to our friends in the LGBT community. It is rough, it is gritty, but it is an absolutely stunning story. I cried, and the art is stunning. I have a dedicated video to this one as well, so I will leave that linked for you. Next we have Spice and Wolf Volume 1. This is a series that I decided to not continue because I felt like the fan servicey style drawing of the wolf was a little too much for me. I have heard that calms down further in the story, but the rest of the story was not interesting to me enough to deal with that. So I might try the light novels from the library if I can, but I don't think Spice and Wolf will be one that I continue. Next up, I continued collecting in Assassination Classroom, so I got volumes 9, 10, 11, and 12. I continue to really enjoy Assassination Classroom. I know the box set's coming out later this year, but I think I'm just going to continue to collect these individually because I think I'll be able to find them for a good deal with the box set coming out, so that's my plan at this point. Next we have Overlord Volume 10. Again, I continue to collect this series. I continue to love it. This is a video game style isekai manga. It's fantastic. Really enjoy it. Next, I picked up the first 4 omnibuses of After the Rain. So they're all sorts of out of order. So we've got Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. This is a seinen age gap romance where a 17-year-old girl is pursuing her 45-year-old divorced with a child boss. Nothing is inappropriate is going on in this manga. I want to preface that right now. And if my instincts prove correct, I don't think they're going to end up together in the end. So we'll see how this goes. The last one comes out this fall sometime, I want to say. But whenever that comes out, believe me, I will be picking that up. This one just came out this month, so I think it'll be another 3 months probably before that one, because it took me a while before I got on the After the Rain train, but I really love the art style. I will definitely be picking up anything by Jun Miyazaki that they opt to publish because the art style is stunning. Next we have Stupid Love Comedy, and this is a completed series in Omnibus about a seinen manga editor getting transferred to the shoujo department and having to work with this shoujo mangaka. It's really interesting. If you want to know more about the publishing world, this is definitely a good one to read. It's interesting, but quick and short and quirky and fun all along the way. So definitely check this one out. Next we have Eden Zero Volume 3. Eden Zero is Hiro Mashima's follow-up to Fairy Tail. This has some character designs that look very much like Fairy Tail, but the story is very different. The story feels darker. I'm really interested to see where this continues to go. I just keep hearing that I've scratched the surface and it just gets better from here, from people who have read the chapters that have already been translated, but they're not out in a physical publish yet. So yes, definitely looking forward to more Eden Zero. Next we have Behind the Scenes Volume 2. This is a Bisco Hattori tile that I continue to collect. I believe it's finished in 7 volumes, and Volume 7 comes out relatively soon, and I believe that's the last one. So I do plan on collecting the rest of the series here pretty quick, but yes, I am definitely a big fan of Behind the Scenes. We're dealing essentially with a crew of people that are working with It's like a stage crew, essentially. So they build sets for movies and theater productions. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. Definitely has that Bisco Hattori humor to it. And then I picked up 2 more volumes of Horomia. So I've got volume 4 and volume 5 right now. And I continue to really like this story so far. I'm just kind of taking this a volume or 2 at a time, because I've heard that a lot of people drop off around volume 6 or 7 because the focus in the series shifts away from our main 2 characters that we've been following to other characters, and everybody's like, I just want my babies back. So we'll see how I feel when I get to that point. Next, I got current on the publish of The Demon Prince of Momochi House. I picked up volume 9, volume 10, volume 11, volume 12, and volume 13. I believe we're current with the Japanese publish at this point, so it'll be a bit before we get another volume. But again, this is a story a lot like Kami-sama Kiss, so I'm very much enjoying it. For me, it took till around volume 6 or 7 before the story really started to get its depth and pick up for me. So if you can hang on that long, I definitely recommend you do. Some people can't hang that long and they drop it at like 3 or 4. But I really feel like the story doesn't really get good. Basically, you're just establishing a basic foundation for the first 5 or 6 volumes, and then it starts to really take off. So I really enjoy it. I hope you'll enjoy it too. Next, we have volume 2 of Love and Focus. This is a really cute short shoujo series. It's complete in 3 volumes, and we're getting the next one next month. So this will be completed sooner rather than later. It's really cute. It's about a high school girl living in a boarding house and running into her roommate who doesn't like to have his picture taken, and photography is all she thinks about. It's really cute. It's really sweet. I'm interested to see how they finish it up. This is from the same mangaka that did That Wolf Boy Is Mine, so all of the art is stunning and beautiful and lots of pretty, pretty boys. Speaking of Kami-sama Kiss, I did pick up 2 more volumes in Kami-sama Kiss, so I picked up volume 8 and volume 9. I'm just slowly collecting this because I have experienced the anime and I still really love it and enjoy it, so there's that. Next, we have volume 9 of The Water Dragon's Bride. I believe this is complete at 11 volumes. Or 10, I don't remember. But it's concluding soon. There's only a volume or 2 left. I'm really interested to see where the story ends up. It can end up a couple of different ways. And yes, I continue to love it. I do plan on rereading the entire series just before I read the last volume, so that I can have the full experience, you know, in a binge through and have everything fresh to do a full solid review for you guys. Next, I have the next 2 volumes of Takane and Hana. So we have volume 8 and volume 9. I continue to love this age gap romance. The stakes have gone up, as you can say. And again, we're 9 volumes in, nothing inappropriate's going on. It's just fun, cute shenanigans and meddling families, and it's just a really good time. So I recommend checking it out, just because they're more about teasing each other and pushing each other's buttons than trying to be romantic with each other. So it's a really easily accessible age gap. Next, we have volume 5 of Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. You guys know I'm obsessed with this series. Essentially, the series is about a human girl who has raised her entire life to be the sacrifice to the King of Beasts. And through circumstances that are awfully spoilery, so I won't share, she ends up the bride of the King of Beasts instead of his sacrifice. And it's super intriguing. I absolutely love and adore it. It's very politically charged as well, so I think guys would really enjoy it. This volume in particular, you get a flashback of a character who's kind of like at the middle of all of the political stuff going on in the castle, so it's really interesting. I strongly suggest picking up this series. Next, I have the next 2 volumes in Yona of the Dawn. So we have volume 17 and volume 18. Volume 18 is a tearjerker for most people. I saw most of what was going on coming, so I wasn't all that surprised. But it's still a beautiful story nonetheless. I love Yona of the Dawn. I have a whole video dedicated to fangirling about Yona of the Dawn. You guys know I love my Yona, so definitely check this one out. Alright, next we have the final volume in Sweetness and Lightning. I have a whole video dedicated to this one, so I'm not going to talk about it. Essentially, we're dealing with a widower trying to raise his daughter on his own, but he doesn't know how to cook. So the whole manga's journey is about him learning to cook with his daughter so that she'll eat. And it's fantastic. Highly recommend. I couldn't remember which volumes of this I've hauled, so I'm just going to haul 2 of them. It probably only needs to be 1, but I'm going to haul them both anyway. So we've got volumes 5 and volume 6 of Tokyo Terror Girls. You guys know my love for Akiko Higashimura. I do have a whole video dedicated to that amazing mangaka. And I really love where this story is headed. It's going to conclude in the next 3 volumes. It ends at 9 volumes. And volume 7 is on its way to me. I'm really excited for this series. I love it with my whole heart and soul. These women are far too relatable. Maybe because we're the same age. I don't know. But I love them. And I totally understand everything that they're feeling, even though I can't directly relate to it because I'm in a different phase of my life than they are. But it's still super intriguing. And I'm excited to see what happens in this final couple of volumes. Next we have volume 9 of To Your Eternity. This is a seinen manga that I tend to really enjoy. Essentially you're following this alien orb that kind of consumes everything in its path, essentially is the easiest way to describe it. And it becomes this gut-wrenching journey, and it's beautiful. I really enjoy it. My husband doesn't enjoy it as much as I do, but I know a lot of people out there who really love it, so it's definitely worth checking out. I strongly recommend that you do. And next, I did finish off collecting Everyone's Getting Married. I've read the entire series. I absolutely loved it. So we have volume 6, volume 7, volume 8, which is one of my favorite covers, if I'm honest, and volume 9. This was a really fun journey. There's lots of smexy times in it, so definitely give it a check out. Next we have Shortcake Cake Volume 4. This is a shoujo series. Again, another boarding house style one that I really enjoy. I strongly recommend you check it out. It's one of my favorite current running shoujo mangas right now, so definitely pick this one up. It's a good time. You have really deep characters, which sometimes is hard to find in shoujo, if I'm honest. But I love how layered all of the characters are, so it makes for a really fun read. Next we have Volume 4 and Volume 5 of AO Horror Ride, or Blue Spring Ride as the anime was called here in the States. I really love the series. Volume 5 is where it starts to continue on past what you have in the anime, and the shoujo tropes became much stronger in this particular volume, so I'm hoping volume 6 will kind of correct some of that for me. So, yes. Just know that you're going to hit a lot of tropes in volume 5. I'm hoping to get past it. We'll see what happens when volume 6 comes out. And then the next one is volumes 1 and 2 of Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. This is about a high school boy who writes shoujo manga and his friends that he recruits to help him. It's a really fun comedy series. I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed the anime as well, so definitely check this one out if it sounds interesting at all to you. Next we have 2 manga that I've mentioned in another video. So we have I Married My Best Friend to Shut My Parents Up. This is a really cute Yuri manga with grown women, which is hard to find apparently. I'm just getting into Yuri, so don't judge me too harshly for that comment. And then we have Classmates Volume 1 Dokyusei. And everybody's been waiting for this one. This is a classic BL title that's finally getting released here in the States. And it was really cute. I really enjoyed it. I will definitely be picking up the next volume in the series. Next up, I continued collecting the omnibuses for Maidsama. So let's dig into these. So we have Omnibus 2, which contains volumes 3 and 4. Omnibus 3, which contains volumes 5 and 6. Omnibus 4, which contains volumes 7 and 8. Omnibus 5, which contains volumes 9 and 10, which is one of my favorite Maidsama covers. And then we've got Omnibus 6, which contains volumes 11 and 12. And lastly, Omnibus 7, which contains volumes 13 and 14. I have not completed collecting the series yet, but I've only got, I think, 2, maybe 3 more to go. But the latter half of the series that isn't in the anime, a lot of people don't like as much, and I can understand why. It falls into some rich people tropes that happen a lot in shoujo, so just be prepared for that. But I'm still really enjoying it because I'm so invested in the characters, so if you love the characters, I think you'll like where it's headed. Next I have volumes 2 and 3 of Haikyuu. I am addicted to these volleyball boys. I'm debating how I want to collect this because it's a long series, so there's a good chance I'm going to switch over to digital or just read it via the Shonen Jump app because it's crazy long. But I do love these boys. I definitely recommend checking out Haikyuu if you're at all interested. Next we have The Heroic Legend of Arslan. The manga part is drawn by the same person who does Full Metal Alchemist, so I wanted to check out the series. I liked it well enough that I'm pretty sure I'm going to continue at least on to the next volume, but the art definitely is superior. I do miss Arakawa's storytelling in this particular volume, so I may not continue. I'm still kind of on the fence. If you guys have thoughts, let me know. Sorry, it's kind of whitewashed there, but it's a beautiful cover. Next we have Dr. Stone Volume 2, and this is one that I know I'm not going to physically collect anymore. I'm just going to collect it, I'm just going to read it via the Shonen Jump app with the anime coming out, and my husband isn't enjoying it as much either, so I don't see a reason to continue to physically collect it for us. He's very anti-Dr. Stone, if we're honest, but there's just some things that are really far-fetched and hard to wrap my head around, and I do understand its intended audience is not an adult woman, but I don't think Dr. Stone's for me, sadly, but I will check out the anime a little bit and see how I like that. Just personally, I don't know if my husband will join me on that journey or not, but if I continue to read it, it'll be just through the Shonen Jump app. Next we have Kami Can't Communicate. This is part of the collective video where I reviewed 4 different things that I've mentioned before, and again, that's linked down below. But this is about a girl with social anxiety who can't talk at school, who finally finds a way to make a friend, and wants her goal in life and her dream is to make 100 friends. And so it's his journey now that he has chosen to help her make these friends. It's really sweet, really cute, really funny. Highly recommend checking out Kami Can't Communicate. This is by Tomohito Oda. It's really good. I'm definitely going to be staying up current collect on this. Requiem of the Rose King Volume 1. This is by Ayakano. This is a darker shoujo fantasy. It wasn't romance heavy in this first volume, so I do recommend guys check it out and see how they feel. I didn't feel any particular romantic tuggings anywhere. They did introduce someone that could be a potential romance down the way, but this feels just much more political. I don't think it's going to be heavily romance. So I definitely recommend guys check this one out, but I do have Volume 2 and I think Volume 3 on their way to me as well. So this is one I definitely am going to be continuing it. Now I picked up the next 3 volumes of the case study for Vanitas. So we have Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5. This is a steampunk paranormal series where we're dealing with vampires and a book and the powers to defeat them. It's really interesting. I really love it. It's really so good. It's just, it's underrated and it's pretty dark. So if you like dark things or paranormal things, this is gonna be right up your alley. Which I have not read volumes 3, 4, or 5 yet. Another one I haven't read yet is I got the first 2 volumes of Yotsuba. This is one that comes highly recommended by like all of my friends. And I'm really excited to be digging into this. I know it's a slice of life. Outside of that, I don't really know anything, and I'm okay with that. I like going in kind of blind to these things, so it's going to be a good time. And I really trust Laura and G for recommending it. And other people continue to recommend Yotsuba as well. Those are just the primary 2 that are like, read Yotsuba. So, Yotsuba will be read. I'm not sure how many volumes of this I have hauled, but I have up through Volume 8 of Silver Spoon by Himuro Arakawa. So these are the ones I have left to read. So we have Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, and Volume 8. This is a story about a boy who's enrolled in an agricultural high school, even though he does not have agricultural aspirations. He really wants to kind of find his way and purpose in life, and it's about his journeys learning about the farming and agricultural community. It's amazing, but it does deal with all aspects of the farming world. So if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, definitely steer clear of this. But again, Himuro Arakawa has great art. I really like their style. It's fantastic. Absolutely love and adore it. Next, we have the 4-panel comedy, the 4-panel comics from Full Metal Alchemist. This is just supposed to be fun, little, goofy stories with the Full Metal Alchemist characters. It's not something that takes itself too seriously from what I understand, and I think it's just going to be a lot of fun. I continued in my collection of Again, so I have Volume 5, Volume 6, and Volume 7. I know Volume 8 and I think Volume 9 as well are out as well. I just haven't gotten around to collecting them because I want to read these first. But Again is a series that I really like, and I hope you guys will check out because Mitsuru Kubo's art is fantastic. Just stay away from Moteki. Moteki is against all things. Moteki bad. Don't do Moteki. Alright, So now we have Hatsuharu, we have volume 6, and volume 7 just showed up today, so I'll be reading this one soon. But this is a high school shoujo that, again, I'm really loving. This is from the guy's perspective, where it's a guy who's been a playboy, basically gets decked by this girl because he was mean to her friend, and he's immediately intrigued by her because he's the one girl he can't have. Or she's the one girl he can't have. But it's really interesting. It's really fun. I really loved how volume 6 went, so I'm interested to see where volume 7 goes. Next we have LDK volume 5. I decided to continue physically collecting this one. After all, I will just slowly order a volume at a time through Right Stuff as I continue to order with them. So, yes. Anyways, this is a high school shoujo. It's a thing. It's a mood. But this one is really sweet. I quite like it. And it's about a high school girl and the popular boy. They live next door to each other, essentially. But something happens, I believe, I can't remember if it's his or her apartment, in one of their apartments. So they're essentially living together now, but they're not supposed to be because that's, like, against school rules and stuff. So they have to, like, keep it on the DL. And it's just good. It's a good, fun time. I really like it. Definitely recommend. I finished collecting Dengeki Daisy. So we have Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, which is all I've read so far, Volume 9,
Volume 4, Volume 23,
Volume 10,
Volume 2,
Volume
Volume
11,
Volume 7,
Volume 12. He's really trying to stump me. It's not going to work.
Volume 12,
Volume 13,
Volume 14,
Volume 14,
Volume 13,
Volume 15,
Volume 12,
and Volume 16. That is the complete series of Dengeki Daisy. I'm really looking forward to reading the second half of this series. Now that I have it all, I can just binge the entire thing, and believe me, I'm going to this weekend because I need me some Dengeki Daisy. I need to know what's going to happen. With where Volume 8 left off, I'm mad, and I gotta figure out what's gonna happen. And then I collected the entire series of Twinkle Stars by Natsuki Takaya, which is the same person who does Fruits Basket. So we have Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5, which is a big boy. So when it comes to Twinkle Stars, I've read the first volume of this, and it just has the same air and feel of Fruits Basket. They're definitely not the same story, so don't go in expecting it to be Fruits Basket. But to me, it feels like Fruits Basket, unlike some of the other series by this mangaka that don't feel like Fruits Basket. Sometimes you just want something that feels like another series that you've read, but you don't want the exact same thing for obvious reasons. And this kind of gives me that feel. So that's what I'm here for. That's why I'm invested in Twinkle Stars. And this is another one that I will probably reread Volume 1 and then just binge the rest of the series and just read it all at once. Again, that might be something that happens this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. There's lots of live streams and things going on this weekend, so I don't know anything. Hey friends, Editing Shay here. I realized I forgot a couple things. I'm going to hurry and throw them in here so it's all in one thing. So, quickly, I did have a fun manga-related unboxing that I did where I ended up hauling a few things. I unhauled a package that I got from Laura at the Manga Hoarder and a manga box set. I will leave that linked for you so that you guys can check that out and know what I picked up with that. I'm sure if you've been around my channel at all, you know what most of those things are already. And then secondly, there's another digital series that I didn't read through Comixology. I read it just through my regular Kindle app because for whatever reason it doesn't register on Comixology. So I wanted to hurry and mention that because it's another 5-alarm steamy manga, but it's not a great, perfect story by any means. And I'm never going to say it is, but the smut in it is fantastic. Mama Loves Manga turned me on to the series, so I wholeheartedly blame her for this. And that is, my house servant is naughty and cocky with secrets. It's 3 short volumes. It's really, it would be in just like one normal size volume. It's about 172 pages. And I spent less than $10 on Amazon to get it. And it was fantastic. So worth it. Yes. I'm not going to tell you anything about it because it's so short, but it's definitely a fun ride. And I do suggest picking it up. If you like the smutty mangas, it's for you. I promise.
So that's it for editing, Shay. Back to your regularly scheduled Shay.
But friends, that is it. That is my manga haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a long one. I'm gonna go get to editing this so you guys can see this on time, because this is the one that you guys chose in my Twitter poll. So I'm filming this Wednesday night because the box showed up today. And yes, I will talk to you guys later. Have a great night.